Oh, that might. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another amazing episode of Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast. I am your host and producer, Coach Kiva Learnings Murdoch, and welcome to our fifth season of Kiva's Place. Unfortunately, tonight we are entering Kiva's Place in our fifth season on a solemn note. We've lost one of our great, great mentors, coach, collaborators, sister, friend. So tonight's show is basically for us to just pay tribute and homage to her and to be able to just share together collectively on how she has impacted our lives. So we ask, as always, like we do on Keeper's Place, just sit back, get yourself something to drink, and enjoy the ride because you're in for a special edition show tonight. If you have any memories or if you were blessed to have known Miss Nanette Weeks-Trombatore, we ask that you comment your fondest memories of her in the comments so that we can all share and just collectively be able to remember her. I ask our audience to be patient with us tonight, give us grace because this is a very hard show to do tonight, but I feel like it's a show that is necessary for me. You know, there's a saying, the little that I do, be able to do it to the best of our abilities. And this is my way of being able to honor her tonight. So definitely join us as we reminisce, as we honor, and as we just pay tribute to her as the queen that she was. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. And welcome back to Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast. So before I introduce my guest tonight, because I do have the honor and the privilege of sharing the stage with some amazing women who was blessed to have been impacted by Miss Nanette. And if we call her Mama Net, it's just out of love. Those that know her know that she was fondly known as Mama Net. So don't take anything personally. If and please don't feel offended. But throughout the show, will be referred to as Mama Net. It just comes naturally to us. So charge it to our heads and not our hearts. But before I bring my guest on, I want to just read a little bit about her that those who were not blessed to get to know her will just learn a little bit about her through her um, final words. So, Miss Nanette was a powerhouse in every industry she touched, including the justice and educational system. However, the space where Nanette shined brightest was the pageant industry. As a child, she would constantly watch and study pageants. Eventually, Nanette would compete in numerous pageants that resulted in her finding a great deal of success and earning many crowns worthy of a queen. Dedicating her life to pageantry as a competitor, a coach, a mentor, and leader, Nanette was a visionary and had the magic touch when it came to preparing queens for the pageant experience. She was well respected and known as the Queenmaker. Her role in shaping the plus size pageant industry was something to behold. As the director of Texas Plus America, executive director of Miss Plus America, and co founder of Miss Plus World. Fondly known as Mama Net, she became a mother figure to many. Although not having her own children, she adopted many pageant daughters whom she loved and cared for deeply. Her legacy remains with those who have the opportunity to sit under her care and mentorship. Nanette Weeks-Trombatore passed away peacefully on Sunday, January the 14th, 2024, with loved ones by her side. She leaves to cherish her memories, her husband Charles, her mother Edna Weeks, her brothers Dr. Jonathan and Mervyn Weeks, and a host of in-laws, nieces, nephews, cousins, pageant daughters, and friends. So joining me tonight, I'm going to introduce our guests, and they are going to be sharing with us their personal experiences. So we have Miss Ebony Mobley, Mrs. South Carolina Plus America, Miss Deborah Shannon. Make sure y'all wave. Miss Deborah Shannon, Miss Plus America. And let me change that view. There we go. So they can see you ladies. Again, Ebony Mobley, Mrs. South Carolina Plus America. Wave, Ebony.
Hi, everyone.
Miss Deborah Shannon, Miss Plus America Lifetime number 3. Sterling Boyle-Gardner, Elite Woman, Miss Beautiful Belle of South Carolina. Cherita Williams, Miss National Sorority. And last but not least, Miss Shannon Denean Duncan, Miss USA. So thank you all, ladies, for being here once again. I'm going to allow each and every one of you just about a minute or so to just tell our audience a little bit more about you. So we will start with Ebony.
Okay, so as my queen sister Kiva introduced me as, I am the reigning Mrs. South Carolina Plus America 2023, and 47-year-old mother of two, married. Started doing pageantry actually with Plus World, where I've met a couple of my sister queens on here. That was my first pageant. I did my second pageant, which is Miss Plus America, last year. And when I did the pageant, I wasn't really ready to do another pageant because unfortunately, the first pageant that I did not win. But I was not a sore loser. I got back up. I did my best. I worked on areas that I needed to work on, and I also got a pageant coach. And once I did that, I just felt like I was better on stage. So when I went to the state pageant, not only at first did I win I'm the former Mrs. Palmetto Pride 2023. I won that. I also came first runner up to Mrs. South Carolina Plus America. So when my sister Queen Kiva went to nationals and killed it in July, that moved me up from first runner up to the Mrs. Plus America. So I'm super excited about that. We brought home two national queens, both from South Carolina, and of course, I felt like everybody won. We did an awesome job. I love pageantry. Um, I've been loving it. I love fashion. I love the sisterhood of pageantry, and I just love the great mentors that I have met in pageantry. Mama Nanette being one.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. Miss Cherita Williams.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cherita Williams, and I am Miss National Sorority Pageant 2023 2024. I am a former MPA queen as well. That's where I first met Miss Nanette at, and she was my coach through that the whole time. And she encouraged me to go to the national pageant, and I went as Miss Spirit of South Carolina. And just like Ebony, my sister queen became Miss Plus America, and then I got moved up to Miss South Carolina. So I would say um she encouraged me to do another pageant, and I was like, I don't want to do no more pageants, Miss Nanette. And then she was like, okay, um, but you got a mean walk. You know how she is. She's going to tell you, what you need to work on and what you don't. And she was just like, you need to go ahead and do another pageant. And so I was like, let me look. And then I saw one that I really liked. I wanted to try out. Because I was in the weight loss transition of losing weight. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to go back to MPA. And so she was just like, well, okay. And then it I want to say this time it was a little different, our coaching sessions, because if you have her more than one time, then it gets different, like every time. So it was like it was a difference from the start from competing for South Carolina, then competing for nationals, and then this pageant. So that's all I'm going to say right now. Thank
And
you
that
guys for having me.
oh, you are so welcome. You know, well, I'll just save it. Miss Debbie Shannon. Just a very
Well,
brief introduction.
I started in pageantry, especially plus pageantry, when someone pulled me from a stage from a model event that I was doing, because I've been modeling a little bit longer than I've been in pageantry. And I've been with the Miss Plus America pageant since the very first year. I met, and everybody calls her Mama Nanette, but to me, she's my sister, because I met her at another system, and I'm like, you know what, she just had that aura, style, and grace that I felt represented Miss Plus America. So I told her, I said, you know what, you need to come, So we both won our titles that year. I was Miss Plus America, she was the Woman Plus America, and we had a really amazing year, and we've had a really amazing history. Since then, we've worked with girls from all over, and we've been each other's support system. And like sisters, we may not always agree on everything, but the love and respect there is just beyond measure. And I now live in California, Southern California, and but as you can see, how the crown will travel. I'm sitting in my office at my job right now. And I'm excited to listen to everybody's story, and watching everything that's happened on social media, and the praise, because she deserved every word, every tear, every salute that we can all give to her. She's truly was an amazing, and I'm excited that I'm like looking at all these babies going, oh, I may not be mama, but I am auntie. I am auntie, and I definitely hold everybody to the fire, just like she did, of making sure that, when you put that crown on, it means something. So
Thank you so much for sharing that. Greatly appreciate you being here. Miss Sterling.
Hello, sister queens and everyone. I am Sterling Boyle-Gardner, your Mrs. Sparkle Nation Lifetime Ambassador Queen. I am also the elite woman of the Miss Beautiful Belle of South Carolina. And I must say that I am new to pageantry, very new to pageantry. I entered my first pageant back in 2021, and by luck, it was Mama Net's pageant system, US Plus Intercontinental, where I had the opportunity to meet Ebony and some other pageant sisters that I'm very close with to this day. And when I found out who Nanette was, and prior to then, I had no idea about pageantry or who our legends were, who our impactful women in plus pageantry were, or anything. So I took it upon myself, and I found Miss Net's information on the US Plus Intercontinental website, and I sent her an email just saying, introducing myself. Hi, I'm Sterling Boyle-Gardner. I'm simply contacting you because I am a delegate in your upcoming national pageant, and I would just like to know more about you, about your co-founder Constance, and about how your pageant system was founded and everything. And she contacted me back. I still have this email to this day, May 16th, 2021. This is from Mama Net. She said, Constance and I founded the pageant back in 2017. The first Miss Plus World and Miss Plus Intercontinental pageant was held in 2018 in Houston, Texas. We embrace teaching, learning, and educating others about the cultures of our many countries worldwide. I have been involved in pageantry for over 45 years as a delegate, a choreographer, coach, director, producer, and judge. I was blessed to hold many local, state, and national titles on the standard and plus pageant circuits, such as Miss USA, Miss America Plus America, and American Elegance, and US Sophisticated, and so many more. Now, when we got into that, I was floored because, first of all, when I saw this woman, I said, no way, she's over 45 years old. And when she told me that her age was like close to 70 or in her 70s, my mouth was open. And she just continued to say, hey, I wish you success in my pageant system. I can't wait to meet you one day. Best wishes. And she was just so encouraging. So I never met her in person until this past year when I attended your pageant, Kiva and Ebony. And she was there. And I swear I was so starstruck. Like, oh my God, you probably don't know who little old me is. But I just wanted to come and give you a hug because I have been keeping contact with you via email. And of course, I friended her on social media and I started following her. And when I would see her on stage, it looked like she was walking on a cloud. And I could only dream to be an inch of what she was on stage, because when I start following who she was and what she does and how she stands on business, I was like, wow, like I want to be able to build a brand for myself, in the shadow of women like that. So I want to know, when I met her, I was like, may I please take a picture with you? I'm telling you, I wanted her autograph, everything. And she was like, yes. And yeah, I remember you. And she gave me a hug and she told me how beautiful I was. And she said, I have been following a little bit of your story. And she just said, keep on being authentic to yourself. And that stuck with me. So I just wanted to share that beautiful memory that I've had with Mama Net. And, it's just going to stay with me, because I was going to hope to see her again in Texas. But, God knows best sometimes and has other plans. So that's all I have for right now.
Thank you for sharing that. We are actually going to get a little bit deeper, but thank you for sharing it and keeping that email. We just never know, how our lives are going to be turned upside down in a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. And that's just a part of her legacy now that you now can look back on years and years down the road. So thank you for sharing that, Sterling. Beautiful, beautiful. Miss Shannon, if you could tell our audience a little bit more about you.
Greetings and salutations, sister queens and family and friends who are watching. My name is Shannon Denean Duncan. I am many things, but I am a former Miss Plus America Elite 2018. I am a current Miss Plus America ambassador, and I am also one of the co-directors of the Miss Plus USA pageant, which is a brand new system that myself and 3 other former MPA queens all started together. We wanted to take sisterhood to the next level, and so we decided to form a pageant that embodies all of the things that we think pageantry should be: service to one's community, grace, beauty, intelligence, all of those things. And I actually met Mama Net under duress. I was under extreme duress. I joined the MPA system in 2017, 2016, when I won the Miss Georgia Plus America pageant. And I was Mrs. Georgia. And then our pageant director pretty much ran away with our money and had not paid our national fees. And the girls in Georgia, we were in panic because we had a pageant coming up. We hadn't been registered. We had no contact with the national office. And so at the time, Mama Net was the executive director, and I called her in duress, in panic. And she calmed me down. We worked out a way for all 3 of the queens to make it to nationals. We were able to come to nationals, and it was a fantastic experience. I will say I was not ready at all. I had been in other pageants and in other systems, but
I warned you.
Nothing prepares you for Miss Plus America. It is a different animal altogether. And so I came bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and green as grass. And I did not even place. I was not anywhere in the top 15. I was just kind of, my clothes were wrong. My walk was wrong. Like it was a lot. And so, um, but I, met some amazing people my first year, my first pageant, and someone, I can't remember who, said to me, "You need a coach. You need a coach. You can do this. There is something in you, but you need a coach." And I didn't know anything about pageant coaches because all the other pageants I won, I just kind of walked in and was myself. And um, so South Carolina that year had a boot camp. And so I decided, okay, well, I'll before I do this whole expense of pageant coaching, I'll just do boot camp. And so I went to boot camp, and Mama Nanette was the boot camp director. And so the South Carolina took me in like I was their own. They loved on me, and Mama Net and I connected, and we laughed and talked that weekend. And she trains me a bit while I was there. I posted that video that Angie secretly took that year. Angie was the Mrs. South Carolina queen that year. And we were not supposed to be videoing, but thank God, thank God for the rogue, that what they say, well-known women rarely make history. And so Angie took that video. I'm so glad she did. But Mama Net was truly amazing. The year after I came back, not only did I make top 15, I won overall top score, being elite. And Mama Net's, Plus America changed the course of my platform, changed the course of the direction of my life. And so I really do credit Mama Net with, we trained long and hard. Now she was not a game. It was no joke, but I credit her with a lot of my success in the world of pageantry. And I appreciate all that she imparted into me. We spent hours looking at dresses. I spent 2 straight days in Texas learning to walk. And she took real time, energy, and effort out and really trained me to be an amazing pageant queen. So I credit her with that, but also she helped me to be an amazing woman, and I appreciate her for that.
And that is one thing that I think we all can appreciate about Mama Net is that if you invested in yourself and you showed that you were ready to work, she was ready to do whatever she could to pour back into you. But
Amen.
you ready. And I think we can really take that lesson even beyond pageantry, right? Anything we are aspiring to, we need to make sure that we are showing up for it 110% in order to see those results. And I can remember reading Mama Net, just like a few of you, this was my first pageant. So I had no idea what I was doing either. But we were in a boot camp for South Carolina, and they were just talking about, different things about pageantry. And I'm sitting here like, I don't know the first thing about pageantry, but I will, because somehow her name was mentioned. And I think it was either you, Cherita, or Serena. One of you, South Carolina Royal Court, was talking about Mama Net, and y'all were describing her coaching style, right? She was tough and firm, but still, yes, she was loving, she was supportive. And I was just sitting there hearing all of those attributes about her. And by the end of that boot camp, I was like, I don't know who this woman is, but I need her in my life. And I immediately sent her an email. I reached out to her, and the rest is history. And we are here today, and I am just so grateful to be a part of such a strong legacy. But really quick, I wanted to. We can literally go on and on and on about her, but I want to, in 1 or 2 words, if you had to put a word to her to describe Mama Net, what word would you ladies use? And anybody can go first.
One is hard, but I'd have to say grace.
I love
Um, I
Grace.
must admit, her nickname, the Queenmaker, was definitely well deserved because she made so many queens. And again, for me, learning her impact and her history, the Queenmaker was well deserved.
I would
Yeah,
say powerful. And I'm a piggyback off of Sterling when I say the Queen Maker is she everything she touched, they prospered. Mama Net touched me and look what happened. She just didn't touch me in pageantry. We prayed together, we talked together. I could talk to her and open up to her, but I would say powerful. Like to me, she was just powerful. She was just powerful. I just Queen Maker, power, powerful. Everything
yes.
she did, anything she touched.
If I had to use what, if I had to pick a word, and I'm going to use the SAT word because it's the only one I can think of that kind of encapsulates what I mean, and that word is sagacious. She was so wise. Um, Mama Net has, like I said, I've been with the system since 2016, and she and I had our share of. Well, I had my share of pageant drama that, things that happened at happened during my elite year, things that happened after my elite year, dealing with other pageant sisters. You know, she was so wise, even about like I was having a really tough time in my marriage at one point, and I called Mama Net in absolute tears, like, Mama, and she prayed with me, and we talked about it and we talked it through. So there were so many moments where I utilized her wisdom. And if I could, Kiva, I want to tell like a super quick story about wisdom. Would that be okay? Or we okay? Um, so when I was preparing for competition, I initially came in and she was kind of giving me the list of things that I needed to get. So it was, dresses and girdles and spanks and foundations and a wig, like, right. And so at the time, I was not a wig wearer. I did not wear wigs. I wore crochet braids. I wore braids. I wore my natural hair. I was not down for a wig. And I was like, Mom and Dad, I went on this like rant, for lack of a better term, about, what I wanted to do and how I wanted to da 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 da. And she listened. She did not interrupt me. She let me go on and sit on my soapbox. And then after I was done, like after I had, gotten myself into a tizzy, she quietly said, okay, do you want to win? Well, of course I want to win, Mom. Like everybody wants to win. Yes, I want to win. And she said, okay, well, when you come down to Texas, we're going to go ahead and go to Kim's and get you a competition wig, because this is, if you're the way that you're trying to frame your face is, you need your face framed in a certain way, and you're not going to be able to do that with your natural hair without doing all of these things. And just the wisdom in that moment was just like, oh, okay. Makes sense. I get it. That's why they call you the Queen Maker. I'm gonna sit over here and listen and be coachable and do what I'm supposed to do. And it led to a win. So I would say sagacious. She was very wise.
I love it. I love it. If I had to choose a word, it would be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter in what area of her life, she was consistent across the board. She was consistent in how she interacted with other people. She was consistent in her communication. She was consistent in her prayer life. And I would say she was a strong prayer warrior, because when she said, Sister, I'm going to pray for you. See, some people say it. Oh, I'll pray for you. she meant it. And not only that, she stopped what she was doing and she would go into prayer with you. So she was just a consistent woman all the way around. And I just thoroughly loved her for that. And when people show their consistency, it's very easy to, you know, just feel like you are supported. And not only she supported us, but we were able to support her in various ways too, because she was able to gain certain things from her pageant daughters and those that she interacted with as well. So yeah, definitely consistent all the way around. I want to ask though, she has left a very large shoes to fill. What is it that you ladies are going to miss the most about her?
Our talk. I just her talking and guiding me, not just with pageantry, but anything. You could always open up to Mama Net. Just like Shannon said, I've talked to her about troubles in my marriage. I've talked to her about weight issues. I've talked to her about work and my career. I've talked to her about a lot of stuff, and I just feel like our talks. She read me like a book, cause she was just like, "Baby, we got to get them feet right." She would call me her little ugly foot queen. She said, "You just as beautiful as ever," but she was like, "We got to work on stand and point the shoes, baby." And she just said, "You know what? Your gown gonna be long, so just make sure you." She was just so precise with it, and she read me like a book because I know I got the ugly feet. Like how Kiva stand, and then how I stand is a totally different stand. But for Mama Net, the next pageant that I do, I'm gonna make sure them feet right. Because I know she gonna be talking up in heaven. Baby, get them feet right, baby. I just had to say that, y'all. I'm
You
sorry.
know how to call me. I'll make sure. I will follow through to make sure your feet are right. That's one
That's
thing.
what I told her. I said, "Ain't my gown gonna be long?" She talking about, "No, baby. You got to get them feet right. You my ugly little foot baby queen."
No, she told me one time, she said, "Honey, believe it or not, they can tell when and even with that gown, you're gonna have to get it together." I love it.
I think that 20 plus years that she was in my life, we've had a lot of prayer. Like her decision to move to Atlanta, when she retired, she was the first state director, and I was there by her side. Like, what do you need? I will come support you. Um, there's probably not a state that I haven't been to try and help, except for the South Carolina, North Carolina. But I mean, I've traveled all the way up to Washington and Oregon. I've done Texas. I've helped Georgia. Anybody that asked, I've gone to help too. But when she said, "I'm going to need some help," I'm like, "I'm right there. I'm right there." And then when she took over as director of NPA, "Whatever you need, I'm right there. Just ask." But she was also there for me. It's been a little over a year since I lost my fiance, and about once a month, because she knew I was struggling, she sent meals to us, just so that, because she knew it was difficult to get out of the house trying to take care of him. So she would send meals, and then we would call, and we would just go through prayer and knowing, her faith was probably the strongest thing about her. No matter what avenue she walked in, whether it be principal or family member or pageant queen, that faith you knew was strong in her. She just exuded that and held everybody accountable for that same type of embodiment of queenly goodness that comes with faith and grace, I think.
Yes, definitely.
I'm gonna miss. I am going to miss being able to reason through pageant crises. Um, being the year that I co-directed Plus America, I probably talked to Mama Net once every other week about something. When you're co-directing a pageant, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of personalities, a lot of people, a lot of things. And I and the director were we felt really under a lot of pressure to make our stamp and to make the year amazing. And we were also celebrating the 20th anniversary of Plus America. So it was pressure. It was a lot of pressure. Let me just say that. It felt like all eyes were on us, like, you better get this right. And Mama Net held my hand through that year. It was a really tough year. She I just being able to call her and say, hey, I got options here, and I can be slightly hot-headed from time to time. Debbie, I can be slightly hot-headed, and but she would and she would never be like, no, we're not doing that. It will always be, okay, let's think this through. Let's okay, I know what you want to do, but we're going to do two things. We're going to think about it, and then we're going to pray about it. And by the time we were done reasoning through something and praying about it, I had the right answers. I had what I needed to get through to the next week, or get what I needed and where I needed to go. And that year was so special. I mean, so special. Not only that, we were actually doing two pageants in one, because we did the Legends pageant that year. That was our first thing. And we wanted to make it special. Like, it had to be big and, dynamic. And she was not going to compete at first. She was absolutely like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to stay out here in retirement and be real happy. But because we did want to make it we wanted to make it inclusive of everyone, and we wanted everybody to come back. She came. She showed up. So I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss her level of dependability. I'm going to miss being able to talk to her about things that I'm trying to reason through, like having a new pageant. Everything pops up all the time. And not necessarily having that voice that says, okay, well, let's reason through it first and pray about it then. That's going to be tough. Not having her there, because she was excited for me. She was excited for us, rather. She was excited about the fact that we had chosen to follow our heart, as she did when she started Plus World. So I'm going to miss that.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. Anybody else?
I would like to share something. My biggest thing that I'm going to miss the most about Miss Nanette is that she had a way with words, and it was either going to make you feel a way, and then she was going to bring it back to you the right way. Like, if you was like, oh, well, I don't want to, so when she first met me, she had all of these reasons why she was like, oh, your legs are nice, but your stomach we're going to have to lose about 20 pounds. That's what she told me at first. And then I was like, okay, yes, ma'am. And then after I lost weight, fast forward to the new pageant that I was in. And I'm hoping that the story will bring some laughter to y'all just a little bit. So right before the pageant, like a couple of weeks before, I actually went to her house, and she was like, I got some dresses for you to try on. And then so she pulled out all of these dresses and everything. And she was like, but your stomach is still, she's like, your stomach is still big. She was like, I could fit in the dresses. So what she did, and if you know her, she loves shapelies and all of these extra things. So she's in there saran wrapping my belly, trying to make me push the stomach in, y'all. She's like, oh my God. So that's one of the biggest things that I think I'm going to miss about her, because she was just one way. She's going to tell you what it is. She told me my stomach was big. So she let me know that my stomach was big. So I did do what she said do. And it looked a lot smaller when I can beat it.
Anybody else? I'm gonna tell y'all one thing that's about her, and my story is not as bad as Cherita's. But I can remember going to her house for these pageant sessions, honey, and she loves these silky pantyhose. You can't tell her nothing about these silkies. Everybody need to be in these silkies. So she gave me a couple packs, different sizes of these silkies, and they wouldn't come up on my hip. And she was like, I was like, Mama Nanette, these are not gonna work. So we ended up having to cut the feet out of them to get it all the way up, because she just knew that those silkies would be better suiting than regular Spanx for me. But those silkies was not silking me at all. But once I have lost 30 pounds so far. So the first thing that I did was I pulled out a pair of those silkies and I tried them things on. And when I could get them all the way back, I texted her and I said, Mama Nanette, I can pull these silkies all the way up. And she was like, yay! So I am going to just miss those small wins, and whenever you celebrated, she was right there to celebrate those wins with you. So I am going to just miss that, and just having to just, when I would think about it, I would text Mama, hey, Mama Nanette, you're on my mind, I'm praying for you. And she would always text me back, oh, thank you, baby, I love you too. And I am just going to just miss those little small moments with her. But
I think, out of all the years, the coronation is probably one of the most memorable moments. And every year, she and I walk together, and we'd hold each other's hand before we started coronation. And we're like, another one's done. We got another good group of girls. We'd just take a breath, because, we would try to make sure everything was done. And I'm gonna miss having my walking partner, even though recently we've been so big that we haven't been able to walk the coronation. Like, we just all come on stage. But and the prior times, she was my partner in the coronation. So she's the one. I mean, she's lifetime number 2. I'm lifetime number 3. So she put my lifetime crown on me. I brought her in. She put my lifetime. We just had this amazing sisterhood.
Love it. I love it. So listen, we're going to play the slideshow that I have prepared in her honor. And I just wanted to let everybody know that these are not all of my pictures. I have pulled pictures from everywhere that I could. So I don't want to steal anybody's credit. I do not own all of these pictures, and I do not own the music. However, I felt like it was something that I needed to do. So I hope you guys find it to be a little bit soothing, and that we, just send her out in the most queenly fashion that we possibly could. So just hang on tight. And enjoy.
So suddenly, so fast.
I'm sure gonna miss her.
That was a really beautiful video. That
That
was a
Very
was beautiful.
really, really beautiful video.
Very well done, Queen Sister. Very well done.
Very well done.
Very well done.
She was so loved.
Yes, she was. So I want to ask you, ladies, because we know that she has filled a lot of shoes, a lot of large shoes. But if she had to leave any final words, what do you think would be her message?
Um, I'm gonna go first because I'm trying to fight back tears too, y'all. She said to me, she went during our conversations that we did via email. She said to me, and I still hold this true and dear to what I believe in that a queen should be. And this was the first piece of advice, one of the first pieces of advice I got when I entered pageantry. She said to me, I believe if you can't lose graciously, you don't deserve to be a winner. She also said, I believe that success is never final, but neither is failure unless you accept it. And I took first runner up that year at a national pageant with no pageant experience, just going in like, I'm not here to compete with these other women. I'm just here to see if I can do it, you know. And for someone who never ever been on a pageant stage, never wore a spank, never tried on so many pair of shoes, had to do something different with my hair, like Queen Shannon said, to know that I still believe that, like, if you can't lose graciously, and I'm excited for every time I hear one of y'all's names called. I'm cheering. I'm the loudest mouth in the crowd. And I'm still just as shocked when my name is called. Because I'm like, me? But I always believe in the grace that comes with holding a title and holding a crown. It also goes in life, as far as anything that you take on. So I believe that she would still be preaching that to the choir. If you can't lose graciously, you do not deserve to win. And success is never final, but neither is failure unless you accept it. And that's just period. And that I know she meant that, and it was definitely a piece of advice and information that I still take with me on every stage or whatever it is that I'm doing, be it in pageants or in life. And so I appreciated that. I thank her for that.
I'll go next. The most, I would say, other than telling me we were getting a competition wig, the most amazing advice she ever gave me was run your race. She was the person who, so I am incredibly competitive. And so during my year, I was like, okay, I'm going to go online and I'm going to look at all the other girls and I'm going to see what they're doing. And then I'm going to try to like all of this stuff, like all of this, all the ways that we mentally prepare for competition in other arenas that we're in. We go, we size our competition up. And Mama Net was like, no, ma'am, we're not doing that. Get off of social media immediately. Like, do not go back on there. I don't even want you to know who the other people are that you're competing against, who are in your division. None of that. Because your only competition is you. Like you're it. And your job is to best yourself. Your job is to every single day get up and be better than you were yesterday. Your job is to walk onto the stage and give the very best performance that you can give. And so I actually took that lesson with me everywhere in other arenas of my life, at work, at church, at like in anywhere, other organizations that I'm a part of. I am never in competition with anybody else. I am always only in competition with myself. And that is going to be even with, starting the new system. She was like, I don't want you to consider all the things you've done or all the other systems that are out there or anything. None of that. You are trying to do the very most amazing Plus USA show that you can do, and that is it. And so I will take that with me everywhere I go. I will continue to preach that piece of advice. I think Kiva's year, I came into the dressing room and said it real loud so everybody could hear it. Um, so because it was just, it's phenomenal advice to take. So if I could leave any parting Mama Net words, that would be it.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Well, thank you, Shannon. You stole mine because she preached that. She definitely preached that. Don't focus on anybody else, just focus on yourself and making sure that you are doing the best of your ability. When you leave it on the stage, it's on the stage. And it doesn't matter if you came in first or second. She definitely told me that several times, especially during the South Carolina pageant. She continued to tell me that, afterwards, when you had a moment with me, Shannon, when you talked to me as well. So she was like, you're going to go and you're going to see it through. She just kept on telling me you're going to see it through. And so that would have also been my same parting words that I would have had for Mama Net as well.
Thank you.
For me, I can honestly tell you, I'm not always the most gracious loser. And I have had to apologize for not being there. I do know for her and I's conversation about tough choices for me, it was always whatever decision that you make sure you bring God with you. Whatever you do, make sure you bring God with you. And then you know that if you're truly and honestly doing that, then the decisions that you make, whether it be on that stage or in your life, then you're doing what you need to do.
I love it. Thank you.
I want to say one thing before we end. The gracious loser thing, she has said that to me plenty of times. My first pageant, I guess because it was Plus World, Mama Net actually saw the first pageant I was in because we had a conversation about it. And she was like, Ebony, I know it had to be heart aching. It's not fun to lose. At that pageant though, I stood there from the time I stepped on the stage to the time it was time to exit the stage. And I smiled the entire time. And she saw that, which I don't think she was at the pageant. She might have saw the video or something because I just don't remember seeing her. But I didn't know her then as well. That she said the whole time you stood up there smiling. Like, just because you're losing don't mean you got to show the ugly face. And I didn't do that. It just wasn't my time to win. And then I did my second pageant, and as I call myself, double sashes that night. And she preached that all the time. The best, the gracious loser is the best winner, and I understand that. And just she would always say, just leave it on stage. Because a week before nationals, I did my last pageant session with her, and I said, Mama Net, I'm so nervous. Like, I was on stage in South Carolina, that's home, but to go to a whole nother state and compete with like 40 some other women, I'm so scared. And she was like, Ebony, the only thing you can do is pray about it and leave it on stage. And that's exactly what I did. I did my best. I did my best.
For me, it would be coachable. Be able to come into a room and not feel like you know everything, because we are all always in a place to where we can always learn something new. So be coachable. And I can remember one of our last coaching sessions. she asked me, she said, Kiva, what are you going to do if you lose? I said, well, Mama Net, if I lose, that means that it wasn't my turn. It wasn't meant for me. And she was like, good answer. So, just to piggyback off of what all the other ladies say, no matter what you're going through in life, we're not going to win at everything, but guess what? A loss is still a win. Because if you can take a learning experience, a learning opportunity, a nugget from that loss, then you have still won because you can apply that later on in your life. So I just wanted to say thank you, ladies, for just, joining me. Thank you for joining me in honoring our legend, our Queenmaker, Miss Nanette Weeks, affectionately known as Mama Net. I'm trying not to break down. It has been truly a blessing sharing this stage with you all. And you're welcome back to Kiva's Place at any time, prayerfully under better circumstances. But you are always welcome back. As I tell all of my guests, once you grace the stage, you're no longer guests, you're family. So anything you ladies have coming up, definitely reach out to me. And if I have a space, I'll be more than welcome to bring you back on. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Before we close out, though, I want to just allow space for you guys to just let the audience know where or how they can get in contact with you. So we'll start with Cherita.
Okay, you can reach me at Miss National Sorority Pageant 2023, 2024, or Cherita Williams on Facebook.
Miss Debbie.
I am Debbie Shannon 822 on Instagram. I'm Debbie Shannon on Facebook. I'm Queen DKS on X. I am Debbie Shannon 822. So I'm pretty accessible, and just about everybody here, I'm in their friends list for sure. So if you can't find me on mine, you can go to them and find me that way. So I am here. I am available for anything. Just ask.
Thank you so much. Miss Ebony.
You can find me on Facebook under my Facebook page, Ebony Jones Mobley. Also on Facebook under Mrs. South Carolina Plus America 2023. On Instagram, the same Mrs. South Carolina Plus America 2023. My other personal Instagram is Anaya and Dallas Mom. And then I also have another Instagram page called Ebony the Curvy Model. And of course, in this beautiful state of South Carolina.
Thank you, Ebony. Miss Sterling.
Mute myself. You can find me on Facebook under Sterling Boyles. You can find me on Instagram as Cuffed Crown Queen. My email is easternstarsterling@gmail.com. And I am accessible by phone at 803-673-1615. And I definitely do show my face and my presence out in the community. I'm a supporter. I'm an advocate, and I try to be everywhere that I can possibly be to just encourage and love up on each and every one of you.
And she is not like yeah.
I can't make everything, but everything that I can make, I definitely show up and show love.
And that is one thing about the South Carolina Queens, which a lot of queens do, but I live in the state of South Carolina, so I see a lot of these queens a lot, and they be out there. So yes, thank you.
And I wanted to say a lot of these queens know me from when they competed, but a few queens know me from behind the curtain, and I really am a lot nicer in person sometimes than when I'm directing. Just saying. It's over there.
That's the Debbie Shannon.
Do not play with it. Do not.
I really am one of those queens that want world peace, but I will tell you, not everybody has the best opinion of me because they always see me in production mode and not like queen mode. So I love you all. I love you all.
Love you too. Thank you so much. Miss Shannon.
You can find me on all the social media platforms at Shannon Denean. That is Denean. You can find me on everything: X, Twitter, TikTok, IG, Facebook, everything at Shannon Denean. And you can also find me at plususapageants.com, where I hope to see all of your fantastic faces after you've completed all of your reigns. I hope to see all your fantastic faces in California and competing in Plus USA. We are super excited. If I could take a moment of privilege and shout out the founding four, or the other three of the founding four, Jennifer Embers Gutierrez, Jenny Wilson Flores, and the amazing, the fabulous Dr. Rachel Ratliff. I am super excited to, and all of our current reigning ambassador queens, we love you guys. Thank you. But please go over to plususapageants.com and sign up now.
Thank you so much. And congratulations once again. It's a huge feat to start your own pageant system. So congratulations, Queen. And I know you got this because you've been trained by one of the best. So you got this. And of course, if you would like to be a guest on our show, definitely text the word guest to 803-368-3030 or visit our booking site at tinyurl.com/Keever's Place Booking. We do have a few spots still left for our 5th season, so definitely be sign up so that we can get you booked and bring you on the air. And don't forget to follow us. We're everywhere at Keever's Place. So at Keever's Place on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So definitely subscribe and follow us. And you will like to connect with me. You can find me personally at Keever Lernice Murdaugh all over social media, or you can go straight to my link tree, and everything that I'm connected with is right there. So just visit linktr.ee/Keever Murdaugh. Again, that's linktr.ee/Keever Murdaugh. I just want to thank my guests one more time for your time and your participation in this beautiful tribute. And Mama Net, I hope we made you proud. So until next time, let's continue to share, connect, and glow, because building your network also builds your net worth. So until next time, peace and blessings, family. Love you all. Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.